tukiongelea kuhusu the effect of changing notes.
Of changing notes.
That is what we were talking about.
Yes, yesterday.
So when we said that the signature needs to be updated,
yes.
It's not that what have been updated. Wameweka sura mpya, kuna pesa sura mpya.
Nimeona. Ndio nimetumia picha hapa na my producer Ran Ngure. So apologies to Major Maina ambaye jana alikuwa ameniuliza hiyo swali nikamwambia kuna kitu imechange ni signature, kumbe there's actually a lot that has changed. So this is a discussion that we already had from yesterday. Let's get the headlines first and then I introduce you into this show. I have the Business Daily, the Daily Nation. Ojwang will help me with the headline of the Standard, and then we'll have Consolata reintroduce herself, halafu tuingie katika discussion. The Business Daily, Adani terms 637 billion lost deal in Kenya, immaterial. Adani terms a 637 billion shillings lost in Kenya deal, immaterial. Adani terms 637 billion shillings lost in Kenya deal, immaterial. That's what the Business Daily is saying. And it's a picture of Indian billionaire Gautam Adani, who's been indicted by the US authorities for alleged bribery, and they are looking into money laundering, corruption, and other charges. Hapo chini kuna immigration story in the Business Daily on Ruto's visa-free entry policy, which has worsened Kenya's travel rankings, and we have slid 17 places so fast because of that electronic transit authorization, which apparently makes it visa-free, but is still actually a bit more expensive and imposes a new requirement for others who are visa-free in the first place. So we have slid down in terms of our attraction for travel by foreigners, and this is notwithstanding the recent development of the abduction of Besigye from right within Nairobi, which has also caused a lot of diplomatic conversation in this region. The Daily Nation, we have Ruto men sued over classified spying software. And the Ruto men are painted here on the front of the Daily Nation as the Principal Secretary of the National Treasury, the Head of Public Service, the President's speechwriter, and we have a health sector entrepreneur. So they have allegedly planned to acquire an online propaganda machine to counter hostility against the administration and boost his re-election campaign. The fallout between the president's close aides and the American owners of this software have revealed a scheme that was supposed to deploy software to spy on targets. Yani walikuwa wamekuja na software ya kusaidia kutuspy pale mtandaoni, ukiwa X ukiongea mambo yako against serikali, wana spy on you, wana get my info nini, unashtuka umeabductiwa nini, mambo kama hayo. Lakini now there's a fallout between President Ruto and this company which was making the software worth 120 million to help him do that and counter any of propaganda and counter with propaganda online for his re-election bid in 2027. When Ojwang keeps saying that Ruto amejipanga huko mbele na sisi tunafaa kuwa tumejipanga, these are some of those ways in which we get to see that. Man's already had deployed software for his re-election campaign way in advance to counter hostility online. So think about it. Ojwang, Mariam, the Standard.
Thank you so much. Umeongea kuhusu a proverbial hair not being able kufikia zabibu pale juu. So on page 5 of the Standard, before nisome the headline, they are talking about MPs seek Adani alternative after deal cancellation. Pale hivyo wanakuambia that Gautam Adani anasema hiyo deal yake ya Kenya si tamu at all. It's not about the money they are talking about. It's about what they were getting apart from the money.
Yes.
Our airport for over 30 years and an annual equity stake ya 18% after 30 years. Hiyo ndio imepotea. Si hizi pesa zingine ndogo ndogo. So aache kutudanganya sita. The main headline, unajua tumetoka kuongea kuhusu farmers now pharmaceuticals. The main headline of the Standard inaongea kuhusu farmers hawa wengine. And that's how you get to know that kumbe kuna tofauti ya mkulima na mkulima. Mkulima ni pharmacist. Yeye ana deal na dawa. Sasa
Yes.
kuna mwingine ako far. That's a farmer.
That's a farmer.
Huyo ndio shida yake, maisha yake yako kwa shida. Sikia vile the Standard wanasema. Life about to get worse for farmers. There are new laws, and these laws MPs are considering regulations that will make farming a tough venture. One, will need a license to sell an animal that must be registered. New authorities to run farming are to be set up as produce handlers and will need to go back to school. It on page 8 history. Sawa. Wanasema kila ng'ombe, in fact kutoka hilo kesi ipite, hakuna mtu afaa kukuita ng'ombe. Ng'ombe iko na ID. Under the bill, horses, donkeys, mules and ducks as livestock and must be labeled. Registration. Each label will detail the breed. Kama mtu anakuita ng'ombe, mpeleke kotini akwambie wewe ni ng'ombe type gani? Wewe ni ng'ombe breed gani? Anasema ni breed, date of birth. Kama wewe ni ng'ombe, lazima tujue ulizaliwa lini. So for the very first time tunaona ng'ombe za Mount Kenya, ng'ombe za Coast, ng'ombe za Kisii.
Hatujui ni gani ni kwa ngapi.
And information deemed necessary. Who is deeming this information necessary or this other information not necessary?
Right.
It's worse for farmers. That's the headline on the Standard.
I would actually add to say it can read also worse for Kenyans, because farmers basically is the entire backbone of this republic.
We used to seeing kilimo ni uti wa nani?
Uti wa Kenya.
Now they have touched the mgongo after the murima.
Consolata, welcome to the show once more.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you back.
Thank you so much, Richard, and also my friend Ojwang. I'm sorry for that. To my viewers, I am Consolata, Wairimu, and I am a passionate youth leader. And I'm happy to be back again, of course, to discuss issues that are affecting the country. And on to our headlines. I think it's such a bizarre that Ruto is investing money in unnecessary things.
Yes.
You can imagine he has already invested in a classified spying software. Whereas we have patients in hospitals who don't have any funds for, pesa ya matibabu, hawana dawa. I mean, Ruto men sued over classified spying software. And then we have the men there. We have Chris Kipto, the Principal Secretary, National Treasury. We have Felix Kosgei, Head of Public Service. We have Eric Ngeno. We have the Jaish Saini. And then we are told that a high-stakes commercial litigation has exposed President William Ruto's alleged plan to acquire an online propaganda machine to counter hostility against his administration and boost his re-election campaign. You can imagine.
This is a man who's thinking.
This one, he's actually thinking about 2027. And my question is, what about working for Kenyans?
Yeah.
What about working on the manifesto you promised Kenyans? In fact, these men who are in the photos above, I am like, I think these people are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Why should we have the Principal Secretary?
National Treasury.
National Treasury. He should be somebody coming from the ICT sector, not
right.
The National Treasury. We have Felix Kosgei from Head of Public Service, and even the President's speech writer. And then we have one from the health sector. I feel that he's completely out of track, honestly.
Ojwang Mariam, the President's speechwriter, Eric Ngeno, who is supposed to be a man of repute in journalistic circles, is involved in this. And I'm actually wondering why Itumbi is not here. Because kama ni mambo ya online na system ya facts apparently, which is spearheaded by Itumbi, he should have been here, unless pia amesema jina yake isitokee. He's thinking ahead, as you always keep reminding us here that, Ruto anafikiria pale mbele na pia lazima citizens wajipange namna hiyo. However, this is classified spying software which was supposed to be unleashed on the public online to influence trending hashtags and also to counter journalists and media houses like ourselves. In short, hizi vitu tunadiscuss hapa Biashara Tuesday kuanzia the time that should have been implemented, tulikuwa tunapigwa vita mbaya sana.
We are under siege. Ukisoma hiyo story ya Ruto men acquiring a propaganda machine, it is not supposed to spy on politicians alone.
Yes.
The highlight is on journalists and media houses.
Yes.
So that he can be able to grab and acquire information that can help him in his re-election bid. For the very first time, I call Ruto President Ruto.
President
Ruto. Because he's talking about his re-election.
Okay.
Shida ni, the pot is boiling and it's boiling nicely. I keep saying we need men and women of integrity, of valor, with tested proof record to show up and to state that they need to run for presidency. Okiya Omtata on page 6 of the Standard has made his intentions clear now to Kenyans. Na hiyo imepave way for other things like people like youthful Morara Kebaso to say that in future I can work with Omtata. Before that kulikuwa na watu wanasema Morara for president, Omtata for president. Ticket inaanza kupungua. Ndio tupate mo. But as you can see, kwa mtazamaji mwenye anajisomea The Daily Nation before au wengine wanunue yao, is that Ruto yeye halali. Kama ni Mount Kenya, huko ako campaign ya kusema mlima wamenikataa. My people, watu wa Kalenjin, mtanikubali. But as that is happening, things are still boiling in Rift Valley, where Moi University is under siege too. The students are saying it's not working. The lecturers are saying it's not working. UASU, Eldoret chapter, are complaining about tribalism, nepotism, and corruption that is choking universities' academic activities. Hata sio kwa curricula, juu bado wanafunzi wako huko wanarandaranda huko Eldoret. So maisha inaendelea for the comrades. Ni vile inawaoma kupigia mama nyumbani akutumie 100 ndio usiiname lunchtime, but haujasoma. At the end of the semester, you will still be accountable and responsible to a parent. So, Ruto yeye yako politics huko ana miss hiyo. That's why venture into a new deal ya kununua a propaganda machine. Hizi ni vitu wanasoma from Russia. Russia ndo wanatumiaga propaganda vizuri vile inafaa. But again, there is a new app yenye wameforce ikue jina, ikue anonymous, itagwe X. Sisi bado tunaita Twitter.
Yes.
That we have proven you can do campaign on X or Twitter and fail, that like in the case of South Africa. But you can also do campaign online and win in a state like United States of America, where civilization is at par with the world's standard. Politics is developed to that standard, but they were able to tell the deep state and everything else concerning Democratic Party that the people can speak. So, Kenya 2027, the senators are working so hard to ensure wanajiongeza 2 years. Inakataa. That's a sad thing. That Senate mahali mina natambua
unawateteanga sana. Yeah, I know.
Saizi imagine bills zenye wanafosiwa kupass ati waongeze 2 years, si ndio? Hiyo inakataa. Kuna ingine bro ya kuensure that you don't live stream presidential elections results from constituency level. Hiyo ni ku undermine accountability and transparency of electoral process. Na bado nasikia Ruto yeye deal yake imekataa sasa. Na mwenye kupeana hiyo deal ni mama. Anatumia lawyer anaitwa Kanchori and Mutali and core advocates.
Yes.
Tayari ametumia 172 million Kenya shillings kwa ile deal ya 120. Unajua deal ya 120 inakaa ndogo but ikishafika itazaa pesa mingi sana. Juu ya hiyo amesema kaende kufa dereva, kufa makanga.
Right.
And we have such faces exposed. Kuna zenye haziko exposed. Hao watu si wajinga. Usiulize kwa nini.
Kama unauliza ako wapi Itumbi?
Yes, mjinga.
Ako wapi Ruto?
Yes, mjinga. But either way we can make it.
All right. You know what I like, Consolata? You know what I like about how Ojwang usually approaches this is positivity, right?
Yeah.
So last week it was a conversation about the state of the nation ahead of what President William Ruto was going to announce, and our fellow panelist who was here said, we are headed in the wrong direction. Ojwang kept insisting we are headed in the right direction. We have come from the wrong direction, and now we're heading to the right direction. He's mentioned that Ruto is getting a spying software propaganda machine, but we have X, which you can download for free. It's not 172 million. Just get on Play Store, App Store, download, get a couple of youth on, discuss these issues, counter the propaganda from government. He is President William Ruto, definitely, because the bill that Ojwang is speaking of, that is at the Senate, on preventing live streaming of election results and also not putting that mandate on IEBC, is a bill coming from the National Dialogue Committee, which is comprised of Kenya Kwanza and the ODM side and the opposition at large. But it paints a very positive picture, which is, tunaweza counter kama ni mambo ya machine online tuingie X tu counter pale. Kama ni mambo ya kufikiria 2027 kuna umtata na kina Morara washaanza mapema. Kama ni mambo ya builds, do you hold the same positivity? That's actually like my question. Do you hold the same positivity that regardless of the tactics, strategies that Ruto has at the moment, the public is actually at pace with him?
Okay, to some extent, politically, he is headed in the right direction because he has already laid out the strategies and all that. Lakini mimi naweza taka kusema, I think Ruto is headed in the wrong direction.
Himself.
Especially when it comes to common mwananchi. And you see even the fights going around him and Gachagua, it's not about mwananchi. It's about those at the top. That is what pains me the most. And I feel that, Ruto has, venye nimemwona sahi, he has the capability to do anything. Last time, remember ile time kulikuwa na Gen Z protests. And some journalists went to State House. I remember he said that Kenya is a country where everyone has freedom. You have freedom to say whatever you want. And I remember he actually said one statement and I was like, I knew this guy can do anything. He actually said that, in other countries, there's limited freedom of speech. You cannot just write what you want to write on Twitter. You cannot just say what you want to say on television. And he said something, I have the capability to close them, but I will not. So, hata tukisema ati tutaenda Twitter kumcounter huko, hata hiyo Twitter anaweza ingia. Anaweza fika huko, na pia, in fact, he can really send goons towards our side and all that. We have seen the likes of Bob Njagi, wakishikwa, abductions, left, right, and center. I feel that this is a strategy that the government is using to keep us talking. So that uko nyuma ya tent vitu mingi sana zinaendelea, waendelee tu kuiba, and before we realize it is already 2027. Now you remember when Adani, everyone was complaining about Adani. That is when he issue ya Gachagua ikakuja. For me, I feel this is a laid out strategy. It is a plan they know so well. I know Ruto knew so well that once he akitoa Gachagua alikuwa anajua kutakuwa na backlash from Mount Kenya. It's not that he by the way, he's a very bright man. He's a very, and I feel if he used that the wits he has to develop Kenya, I think would be really far ahead. And also I think for MPs, sidhani ni kutumiwa wanatumiwa. Really they are not using their brains, because you have the ability, you have a brain and you can stand up for yourself and you say that this one is a bill that is going to affect Kenyans. but I don't know sijui ni nini wamefanyiwa. You know, I don't know what happens when they get there. They actually forget Mwananchi, and it's so sad that after their Adani deal has been cancelled, they are the first ones to offer alternatives. Can you imagine? Imagine they're offering alternatives. And in fact, in the Daily Nation, I think page 5, we have dishonorable greedy MPs pocket bodyguards and drivers allowances. Can you imagine? Imagine ati pesa inatumwa ya driver wako na bodyguard
unakula.
Okay, and I was those people, they really don't have a system. They don't have a system to, because I feel these people should be paid directly, not via a person. You can imagine that kind of is it? I think they are gluttons.
Right. So, Ojwang, what I'm getting from Consolata is that we are being distracted. And I had the same thought actually when, and you did say it here, when they were discussing on the extension of presidential term limits and member of parliaments and senate at the same time. It was when we had the Adani deal. Also they threw us a bone of Gachagua impeachment. Na nakumbuka kila saa ulikuwa unakuja kwa show unasema tuachane na mambo za Gachagua na Ruto, to focus kwa SHA na SHIF, to focus kwa Adani. Na tukafanya hivyo, we always try to make sure that the shows on our discussions of these newspapers to steer away from hiyo drama. Na hiyo drama imeendelea, is still here. On the Daily Nation they're saying Gachagua security has been withdrawn because of what he's been recently out there in the public saying against the Kenya Kwanza government, against President William Ruto. Actually, in his latest statements, he said that former President Donald Trump should actually impose restrictions on travel for any Kenyan officials who are involved in the Adani deal. Na nashuku hii imefanya President William Ruto hajafurahia sana. Na tumeavoid sana hiyo story, right? Is this the same thing with IEBC bill that Ruto is also just trying to make us focus on 2027, as Consolata is saying, as tuko focused, tunasema tujaribu kubitu mse 2027, and between now and then MPs are pocketing people's money. Money is being lost on unclaimed softwares and SHA and SHIF and whatnot.
Kitu cha kwanza, the money that the MPs are pocketing, and the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is pleading with them to stop. It's 4,200 for each driver, 4,200 for each bodyguard, taking your MP back to his constituency or residence constituency, or going for a night out or weekend vile wanatokeaga.
4,200 a night.
Yeah, 4,200, 4,200 every night. So hizo pesa ukuja kwako wewe ndio unajua bodyguard wako, wewe ndio unajua dereva wako. So azifai ziende kwa huyo dereva ama huyo nini direct. Juu yao ni allowance yenye kwa mbunge. Ni mbunge anafaa tumekupatia
anagawa kutoka kwa allowance.
Sasa wao ni kugawa hawagawi. And these personalities, the drivers and bodyguards to these MPs, have written to the National Assembly Speaker. Naongea na mudosi wangu anani sana. Yeah, that's one thing. Now, on the issue of IEBC, it's not a distraction because it's something that is there. We don't have commissioners. We don't have an IEBC. That is why some MCAs have never been replaced. We also have MPs who lost their seats. No by-elections have ever been done. But we have a new deputy president.
So fast.
For you to be sworn in as a deputy president of this country, the IEBC must certify that the seat is vacant. So which IEBC is that? Yenye haiwezi shughulikia hata by-elections za MCA, but iko for that purpose pekee. In 2024, we were supposed to review our boundaries as a country.
Yes.
Constituency-based boundaries, sana. Which is a role and mandate of IEBC. That has not been done yet. There is a deliberate attempt to delay the reconstitution of IEBC so that this regime can pin that on judiciary. So, kulishawekwa within 10 days, kuna time President Ruto alisema within 10 days na create ama na reconstitute IEBC. He did that. But I'm sure via proxy, people who are aligned to the government of the day are the ones who took that case to court. So saizi iko dragged pale hivyo. Mtu saizi Ruto akikuuliza kwa nini hatuna IEBC, ukimuuliza kwa nini atakwambia si nyinyi ndio mko mahakamani. Hiyo process iko huko mahakamani.
So tuko.
Hatuongeleleagi vitu ziko mahakamani. Unaona? As they are doing that, huku on the side, yeye anajipanga. Buy more time. Sisi tunalia. No, but we are on the right track.
Okay. So
let them deal with that.
Okay.
We don't care who is the IEBC chair. We just care that
there
will
an
be
IEBC.
an IEBC.
Okay.
We also don't care if you want those presidential election results to be live streamed or not. Kenyans are saying, and I will quote one Rapture the Scientist, a legendary comedian who has beaten odds. Huyu jamaa kuna wakati alikuwa total drunk. He beat the odds akatoka kwa pombe. Yeye anasema TikTok ni ya mtu.
Si ya mtu. Ni ya China.
No one will ban all the apps.
Dance.
So wewe, si umeambiwa usi live streamiwe, wewe ukienda kuvote 2027 kama hauna bundles itisha. Tutakuwa hotspot. Live stream yako. We are going to have for the very first time an agent in each and every polling station, meaning elections 2027 will at least be free and fair for everyone. That is why Omtata saizi haogopi kusema mimi nasimama rais. Juu anajua Wakenya wako woke. Never underestimate the power of 18% as they call it who are online. They call them watu wa online. Consolata. Uwe unalala Facebook ama LinkedIn. Why would they call you mtu wa online?
Lala kwa server room.
So how watu wanna drive that conversation online ni sisi.
Yes.
And this is what we are doing, especially from Roysambu. Online tunajua chenye tunaongelelea. Ukifika chini unasikia baba mboga na mama mboga vitu wanaongelea sio zile.
Lakini
unampe the fact of that information.
Consolata anasema though that President William Ruto can do anything. But actually during KCSE walizima Telegram and have been trying to get back on Telegram. It's not registering on this phone. I don't know what's happening. No chances of fear that you know, anaweza amua go total Moi era, azime kila kitu.
Hiyo you happen. Yeah. A country can ban.
Matiang'i alizima live stream ya TV stations in 2017. So
a country can also ban apps. Okay. Ruto aseme we are banning Twitter. Are you banning all the VPNs? Are you banning our brains? You know, I keep telling our people to so many, manze. Do you know that's the only thing they will never steal from you?
Knowledge.
You can buy a land today, now waibe. You can buy your own airport, now waibe. But knowledge, we have a whole lot of Kenyans we are calling the Gen Zs. Akina Consolata leo hakuna jobs. They are not the ones who are crying too much hakuna job. Wao wamepata ways za kutumia AI kujiundia pesa. Wamepata ways za kusema na Safaricom iko na pesa mingi sana. We can create lines za fuliza na tufulize hizo. Umeshika?
Fulize 200 million.
Between 2016, 2017, 2015, 2016, 2017, I was joining campus in 2016. Watu walikuwa wako able kuredeem bonga points into bundles za simu ziko kwa duka through IMEI numbers. Those are the same people wenye saa hizi wako work design wanajua that the president of Kenya akona system fulani anataka kununua from US itumike kama propaganda machine. The same knowledge inawafikia through people like Nelson Amenya mwenye nasema there is a company headed by Gautam Adani mwenye si mtamu at all to take over Ketraco and to take over
JK.
Si tulijua?
Tushajua.
So by 2027 Ruto atakuwa shapiga kila kona amehema.
Right, I love it. As a matter of fact, what should happen now is President William Ruto anafaa unde show yake na watu wake wa discuss venye wanafaa combat Kenyans who are way ahead of time.
Sikiza, it is happening. Ingia TikTok utapata a TikTok account inaitwa the President of Kenya. Hiyo TikTok unapata Rais Ruto akitoka from one office of the State House to the other. Nani mbali?
Get ready with me.
Get ready with me.
Akikunywa chai.
But hata hiyo haiwork.
Right.
By 2027 mjinga ndo atakuwa na tawala hii nchi. Juu mwerevu atakuwa mashakani akijificha.
All right.
There is no smartness in that.
Okay.
I would call it cunning. You're just a cunning.
He's just a cunning president.
Just a cunning.
Oh, agree na Consolata on the bright.
Kuna werevu.
On the cunning bits only.
Sijui kama naezongezea kitu.
Ongeza.
I would love to say this. As much as we are the 18% online,
Yeah.
There is a very big problem huko mashinani. I'm telling you, the way we think right now is not the same way the mama mboga in mashinani thinks. They still have hope that Ruto somehow atakomboa hii nchi. Kwanza wakijua ni wa kanisa. You know, I have a grandmother. She was really supporting Ruto up
Because
to
ni mtu wa
date.
church.
Up to date hajawahi weza kumuongelea negatively. Yani hatakangi kusikia. I feel that what Morara Kebaso started, and it's so sad that people have actually attacked Morara Kebaso so badly, mpaka morali imeenda chini. You know, when people attack you, morali inaenda chini. Alikuwa anasema atatafuta Gen Z, wanaenda huko mashinani, wana-educate hao mamamboga, au wenye hawana simu. Because we are only 18% online. And by the way, majority online ni Gen Zs, si hawa wazee. Tunafaa tuende huko tuwaambie. Because I am telling you, the reason why Ruto haogopi, hakuona watu wa mashinani kwa streets. Ni watu wa online, ni watu wa Gen Z. As long as yule mama mboga hajatokea, ana shida.
Atampata kivyake alafu ampe propaganda.
Na unajua kuchange akili ya huyo mtu ni dakika moja.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's hope, but also we need to use the hope that we have to spread it to the rest of the republic, which is underreached by the technology and the internet. And I'm being reminded by my producer Ngure that you know, with or without individuals, the hope still remains. Plan still same. Kama ni civic education, we can do it. Ojwang Mariam next week Tuesday akiamua hataki kukuja kwa show kuongelea vitu za kusaidia wananchi, ameruka bandwagon. Yeye ni CS of KM in the Ruto's government. Tunaachana na yeye, sisi tunaendelea na mkondo.
Watu ni wengi.
Tunaendelea na kazi yao sio. Right. So Ruto men sued over classified spying software is the headline on the Daily Nation, but according to the panelists here, we are technologically savvy as young people. So anunue software zote, asinunue, akataze kustream, asistream. This generation is going to use technology to its advantage, and it should be very scary for those in government. I feel so psyched after that bit of the conversation. Page 5 is where you can read about the greedy MPs who are eating the bodyguard's money. 4,200 unakula jameni ya bodyguard na amekudrive siku mzima. Read it on page 5. And then on education, page 10 of the Daily Nation, guys. I think it's important we also speak a bit on education. It's become a very concerning and running issue in the Republic. This is Moi University. The Vice Chancellor appeared in front of ESCC last week on Wednesday. Corruption case worth billions of Kenyan shillings. 18 universities zinaangaliwa. Nimekuwa nikitafuta hiyo list, but yenye nimepata list so far ni Jaramogi Odinga University, ambayo wako na case of ghost projects, new administration block, postmodern library, laboratory. All of these are non-existent, and they were conducted by the former Vice Chancellor, actually, according to the report by EACC. You can read for yourself on page 10. It's making really hard for standards of education and quality to go up in institutions of higher learning because of this kinds of graft. The money that is supposed to be used for development is plunging the situation or the institutions into their problems because it's not being used effectively. Yani, ile ukora inaendelea nchi hii. Ojwang Mariam.
Matters education.
Tuna concentrate. Maybe that's why. I was thinking of this when I saw the report, and I thought probably that's why President William Ruto and his cronies are like, you know, mnapiga kelele, mnajua watu wanakula nini huko. Mnajua Jaramogi Oginga Odinga pesa inapotea ngapi? Mimi mnanisumbua hapa kuhusu 172M ya spying software. Go to Moi University and ask the VC where the money is. Do you think this rot is well known, like from up top all the way down?
It's well known. It's well known. That same story on Daily Nation is on the Standard, page 2. And this time round, alumni. I keep saying alumni of any institution can save
The institution.
or break the institution. The alumni of Moi University, wanasema save Moi University from collapse. Alumni plead with government. Apparently kila mtu ulilia government, even president analiliaga government. Serikali saidia. For decades, Moi University stood as a beacon of excellence, nurturing leaders, scholars, and professionals who have shaped Kenya's destiny. An example of such personalities is Professor Mary Kiplagat, Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs at Maseno University. She reflected on the opportunities Moi University provided for her growth in management and leadership. But all that is going down the drain. Moi University kitu haribu sana kule inakuwaga ni tribalism na iko connected politically na ni bigi kuliko the county government ya Uasin Gishu. It always has president's hand in it. Saizi nasema hivyo juu last time ilikuwa President Uhuru Kenyatta na bado walikuwa wanasema DP anasumbua hapo, DP anasumbua hapa, DP anasumbua pale. I will ask you a question.
Ask me.
Kenya. We have a university in Kisii that is doing so well. That is mostly around number 3, 4. Hapo ndo Moi kuwa. How would it fall under your watch as a president? What legacy would you write about education?
That the university in my own backyard
In a state where you believe that everything that is not good, change its name. Or our university funding model is not working. Call it new university funding model. At haina jina. Or NHIF is not working. People are complaining that money is being remitted to NHIF, but when you need it, at an hour of need, haupati. Badilisha hiyo kitu. Ite shift.
To
Endo shida. It's okay about national. Let us take it to mashinani. Now, because we cannot call it mashinani health insurance fund, call it social. In fact, kuna vijana huko wako social media, social this, social that. Ite social.
As a matter of fact, they have changed again. Now it's Taifa Care.
Taifa Care.
Yeah.
I heard wakisema sasa shida si hiyo. That happened because when President Ruto went to Embu, he was not able to defend his own project. He was not able to use his own wording of the project because the former president, the fourth president of Kenya, who believed in universal health coverage, was in his presence. So he talked about universal health coverage. Kitu tuliacha kuongelelea immediately 2022 elections were completed and on 13th August ikakuwa ameshinda. Aliongelelea tena na kutoka hapo ndio aliita Taifa Care.
Taifa Care.
Taifa Care.
Yes.
Hata ni kimungu wangetafuta kama ile Obama Care waite Ruto Care juu anatujali.
What I'm getting here from Ojwang, Consolata, is that these problems still all the way stem back. Then zinarudi kwa President William Ruto.
Yeah.
Education in a field. If you ukitafuta William is at the end of the tunnel. It's juu nini na fail. Hata history ya MPs kukula allowance ukifuatilia vizuri. At the end of the tunnel we'll find President William Ruto. Is that where we need to concentrate our efforts at?
Yes. I'll tell you this. If you see an organization failing, a family failing, check the head. The head is the problem. And I feel if President Ruto is really keen on the war against graft and corruption, as he said in parliament, and I felt that was sarcastic. Akiuliza wabunge ati kwa nini hawapitishi hiyo bill. Unajua kuna vile unaona ni kama anachezea Wakenya. That is sarcasm. I feel yeye mwenyewe akiamua hata kuwa corrupt, definitely trickling downwards the friends, the associates, they will all toe that line.
Yeah.
You see?
Mm.
And I feel that it's so sad to the Moi University comrades. I feel that every government official should focus on education and health. That should be your key priority. Imagine hawa watu watakuwa wana graduate, nasikia huko degrees zinaenda miaka 7, 6.
I have people I finished high school with and they're still in their 3rd year.
Imagine.
Right.
Imagine. And I feel tribalism is key in this institution.
It is.
Nilikuwa nasikia ati kuna VC alikuwa huko and the VC seemed as if he would somehow make the institution better, lakini wakamtoa on the basis of sijui tribals, wakasema ati sasa walete mtu wao, and this mtu wao narrative is really killing us. I would love to tell Kenyans, hii mtu wenu, mtu wao, it is never, in fact for them they know, and I know even Gachagua knows, it is not about Mount Kenya. It is not that I come from Mount Kenya region, I will not come here and defend him. Because I know it is not about Mwananchi.
Not
it is
about the
about
Mwananchi in Mount Kenya.
Yeah, it is a war between Gachagua, Kindiki, Ruto. They know what is going on. And I feel hapa, I think EACC, Ruto anafaa ingililie hii kitu personally. Na ninajua, you know, if he decides, he has all the machinery. He can revive this institution. It's so sad that parents are paying the money, unatuma pesa, mtoto asiiname, lakini for a whole 2 semesters, a whole semester asomi. So I was actually wondering now what will happen to the 4th years. To the first years, I hear they have never even attended lecture halls. Even they have never even
seen how the lecturers look like.
Imagine. And what does that mean? I know every Form 4 candidate. I have a sister who completed Form 4 last week. I know most of them would not want to go to Moi University. In a haribu reputation. Yeah.
Now we have, I have a question, an interesting one for you on this regard of graft and corruption in public universities, given you are in student leadership as well. Wanasema 18 universities are now being investigated. I think EACC waliangalia mambo ya Moi Uni, wakasema, ebu nao wengine by the way, kama hapa kumeharibika hivi, let's look at others. And then they looked, the one that has really brought interest to me is the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga one, where, you know, they were allocating millions. Unasikia di contractor amerudi akisema, sikumaliza kulipo ile kazi. Unaulizwa kazi iko wapi? I exist on campus. There is no postmodern library, but you're still collecting dues, saying, sijamaliza kulipo kazi nilimaliza. And now it's billions of Kenyan shillings. This is corruption happening between the vice chancellor, the academic, the officials of the institution as well, and they're looking at 18 other universities. I was trying to see if, you know, the universities I know are in this list. I'll just release a full list, but the University of Nairobi is now the 3rd one in that list, the only public list available. Moi University, Jaramogi, and University of Nairobi. We are saying ukifuata shida utapata President William Ruto ni sawa. Lakini hata William Ruto akitoka, this corruption that has been there in public institutions, from someone who has looked at it from the inside as a student, from student leadership, where is the problem at, and how can it be solved? Before you get me that answer, I just wanted to add on to the Jaramogi Oginga University issue, where also being investigated by EACC is 200 students who graduated from the university last year, and they had not attained the graduation requirements, and they had bribed their way out of the university. So this is a case which I'm sure people are aware of in many other institutions. Such cases, corruption, backhanded deals in institutions where we're supposed to teach the future generations of leadership, we're supposed to instill integrity. It's very sad to see that unatuma watoto shule wasome lakini wanaenda kusoma ukorofi, which gives us the kind of leaders that we have really. Kama kina Kipchumba Murkomen were student leaders, and the likes of President Ruto were student leaders, and we can see what is happening after. There is a problem. There is a problem. Where is it coming from? From how you've looked at it, and how can we solve it? If it's solvable at all without the interference of EACC.
Okay, fast forward, I think this stems also from the student themselves, from student leadership. I am involved in the politics here in campus. Most of my friends are in that space. And I can tell you for sure, tribal politics also starts from here. There are people who will not vote for you because you come from a certain region. You are a Kikuyu, you are a Luo, or Siju, you are not from their tribe and all that. And there's this narrative I've always had. We ingia tu huko, tumia tu pesa. Lakini ukiingia huko, utajilipa.
Na hiyo ni student leadership.
Na hiyo ni student leadership. So it starts from hapa chini. Kwa sababu sasa kama mimi nimekuwa nikijua ninataka niingie hapo nichote zangu niende, definitely even when I graduate and also maybe become a leader in my constituency, that is the same narrative I'll spread out there. I believe it is now high time for students. Let us not look at the tribe. Mtu wetu ametoka wapi, sijui anafanya nini. Let us look at the huyu mtu, what are they offering? And that is what happens to Kenya. Tunapenda kuangalia mambo ya mtu wetu, who has the money and all that. So now you find even kuna projects za student leadership tu zinafanyika. Probably an MC is hired and there are cases where you hear they are never paid. Or they are never paid the full money. So, and you know, these are the kind of people we will have outside there. You see the likes of Ruto, Kipchumba Murkomen, they were once student leaders. And now those are the type of people we tunaona huko. So the issue of university officials actually spearheading that. I think kunafaa kuwa na a committee that looks into these university officials, the administration. Inafaa waangalie, wanachuja wenye wanaona. You know, I think the work concerning graft and corruption should start from Ruto. I'll keep on saying that. Inafaa ianze hapo. Because I am telling you, if Ruto akisimama leo na kuwe resolute na seme hii war ninaianza, kila mtu atafollow that line.
Alright.
You heard that Gachagua on Sunday said that during cabinet meetings, the CS walikuwa wanamuogopa. It's as if they were worshipping a god or something. And only him, according to what he says, that he was able to tell him the truth, that the rest were somehow fearing. And you see, there's something that, you see, somebody somewhere is not, kuna vitu haziendelee vizuri. So mimi naweza sema watu, kuna commission education inafaa, ama ministry come up na a committee, a very good committee to look into all these institutions starting with Moi. Because as a comrade I feel their pain. Kuna mtu alikuwa ananiambia ati yeye aliitwa Moi University, lakini after amesikia hizo strikes hajawahi enda shule, amekuwa nyumbani.
Yanangojea kio nyumbani.
You can imagine. Na ndo ameingia campus, kwa hivyo hata hajui kama ako semester 1, hajui kama atasoma, you know. Yeah.
Right. Ojwang Mariam, I hope KUSA wanakulipa pesa zako kiasi.
Nimesikia kitaje hiyo karibu nimwambia acha kumbe unajua hapa.
KUSA ukulipa pesa zako.
Hawalipwi.
UKMC, but you know, let us in on corruption. This is a university television station.
Yeah.
We can try and skirt around the issue. We can try and sijui nini, but lazima tuseme. Lazima tuongelee kuhusu corruption in public unis, right?
Kuna kitu amekuza. That it is us. The problem is us. And I will keep saying that. You know, your ordinary politician will tell you shida ni wa Kenya, but will not explain why ama how you can get out of that problem. For example, itasema sisi wa Kenya ndio tunaendaka tunachagua mtu mwenye tunajua atatukula. But you don't tell them what to do. Because you believe they know, but they don't want to do. Until wingie mashinani, bro, ndo ujue how people don't know. That is why the political class huwa inatupiga chenga. Juu yeye hata ingia aonge Twitter. In fact, Twitter, if you check on their profiles and what they post, ni picha zao na walikuwa mahali fulani. No, chenye wanaambia hao ni wengi kiasi kuliko the 18%. So kazi yetu inafaa kuwa akienda huko aseme na nyinyi mnarudi
tunasema ingine.
Si unasema ingine, unamwambia the truth yenye alificha. Be a journalist. A journalist is always truth bila kujali nini.
Ni nani na manini.
Yeah, hapo ndo impartiality ukam. Unajua sometimes we talk and we look like we are opposition.
Yeah.
but it is because we are talking about the bare truth vile tu iko. For example, tumeshika gazeti hapa hivi, tumekam kuchambua gazeti, right?
Yes.
Gazeti inaongea kuhusu Stanbic ordered to pay 224 million tax. Why should I talk about something different other than that? Unaona? So sisi ni kudigin tujue hii 224 million tax ilitoka wapi. MPs seek Adani alternative after deal cancellation. Mbona wanaongelea kuhusu Adani alternative? Wow! Wale fisi wenye walikuwa tunyonga sasa ndio wanatuambia enyewe hapo mlikuwa mnaongea ukuli, lakini kuna another alternative. Okay. So sisi kiasi nimalize. So sisi bado as Consolata says ndio tunaanza corruption hapa chini. Hiyo Moi uni page 2 ya the standards wanasema alumni ndio wanaongelelea. Why not the students? Si hawako home, si hawako shule na hawako home, wako LD. Wanafaa kila siku wamejaa hiyo barabara.
Wako LD daily.
LD daily. Leo tuko city hii side nyingine. Ikikataa waingie Nakuru, waulize Kihika. As we are still struggling to hikania you and the people of Nakuru. What's wrong? Not alumni coming to kwani wewe hauaffectiwi na hiyo fact that hauendi shule but
so the standing by as corruption happens also a problem.
Tumenyamaza tu ati hizo ni shida za Moi. Na wewe inaku affect. Let me tell you what happens if there is no school in Kenyatta University. Areas around kama zile slums vile wazi inaitwa places like KM, Lower Membli. Kuna kwaga kumeboeka sana. Wame announce strikes. Wanafunzi introverts wote wamejifungia kwa nyumba wako Netflix. So there is no business going on. Si ndio? But kama masomo yanaendelea, wewe unaweza chukua tumarashi twako, uuze 25 bob per ml uko hostel na upate kitu. Ama hapo nje uuze viatu. Hawa wenye wako idle saa hii ndio wanafaa huko wanasema we are demanding for education. According to the Constitution of Kenya 2010, education is not a freedom, it's a right. Basic education is a right. That is why the senators wanaogopa kuendeleza bill ya senator wa Kiambu Karungo Athangwa ya kuconsolidate all the bursary funds zieko kwa Ministry of Education, kila mtoto wasome for free, whether wewe ni tajiri ama ni maskini. There should be no discrimination in education. It's high time the youth of this country who are being affected today and who will be affected in the future, juu watoto wao pia hawatasoma juu hakuna places za kusomea. You heard Lucky Dube say that all they build is prisons, not schools.
Yeah.
Mbona tusijiitishie hizo shule? Mbona tusikue better? Corruption yenye iko campus haipitagi 100k. Na yote unatumiaga kukunywa pombe. Kasavera, cause kuiva. Kazi yenyu ni kuiva. Then unatoka hapo hivyo, ujusha pata tudo, unaingia hiyo Moi, you don't do anything different. You continue with the same thing. Unaendelea hivyo, unakuwa president. You continue with the same thing. 2018, the Daily Nation, the NTV reported the Senate's report ya corruption ya hiyo time that Deputy President William Ruto is the most corrupt politician in Kenya 2018. 2024, unajua nini inaongelewa? That the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, amebakisha kidogo hivi ashinde Ruto. Sio kwa mambo ya afya, education, ni being the most corrupt politician in Africa.
Consolata, you had something to weigh in there. This is your chance.
I actually wanted to tell him, kuna post niliona pahali. Sijui whether it is one of the politicians or just somebody on X. And he said that the leaders we have today is a reflection of 90% of Kenyans. When we are talking of war about graft, corruption, huko mashinani, huko chini, kuna watu wanapotea na pesa za neighbor. Unaenda kwa duka, unakopa, ulipi. You know, I feel it starts from the grassroots level. Hata sisi wenyewe tumekuwa corrupt. I know you can tell me that sometimes you tell your kids that ukiperform vizuri
Nitakupatia kakitu.
nitakununulia bike. It is
Shambribe.
corruption.
Ushambribe in advance.
Sasa huyo mtoto atakuwa na work hard juu kuna bike, na kama hiyo bike haiko
Achana na kazi.
hata afanya kazi. Something else also, let me respond why the comrades in Eldoret kwa nini hawatokei. Unajua imefika pahali, and as I was telling you, Ruto anatubombard na vitu left, right and center mpaka akili inachoka.
Hiyo ndo niko very worried about actually.
Mara unasikia ni Adani, mara Gachagua, mara sijui abductions, mara sijui ni wapi, mara
anatuchanganya.
Unakuwa umechanganyikiwa, and I feel this is a strategy. Let me tell you, this is a strategy that these people are using
To wear us down mentally.
We get tired mentally, emotionally, we are drained. So hata hao comrades wanaona hata tukitokea nini itafanyika. Tukatokea time ya finance bill. Sasa kidogo kidogo wanajaribu kuirudisha. Wanajaribu, they are trying in their own various ways kurudisha clauses kidogo. And that is why even in the standard they are saying that the MPs are considering regulations that will make farming a tough venture. Imagine
19 bills wanaweka za agriculture.
Imagine. So wanatufanya tukue emotionally drained, mentally,
so that we can't fight
physically.
that.
So we cannot fight. Juu tunaona hata tukitokea hakuna kitu itafanyika.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, and for Ojwang Mariam as well. It's 9:54 in the morning. It's done. We have a lot we can speak about, the state of the nation and the dailies, but I think at this point what we have already been able to dispense can be an enough of a starter for people to think about the rest of the week and the developments in their world. I want to say that there has been progress which has been made. Kama una feel ni kama hiyo statement umesema we went, someone is feeling tulienda finance bill protest nini, hakuna kitu kili happen. Vitu zili happen. The state of the nation is different now than it was before June 25th. So keep on pressing on. You're confused sana, you mentally weighed down. Consolata, just like 30 seconds. I have one thing that I was requested to have you weigh in on, which is the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which is currently happening all the way to December 10th. It mostly affects women, gender-based violence. Just maybe generally, word of caution, a reaction, maybe a statistic that maybe some anecdote that you can give for 30 seconds for gender-based violence and this activism against gender-based violence. And then that's also a part where you can do your closing remark.
Okay, so I feel it's so sad that kuna statistics zilitokea juzi, and they show the number of women being killed and being killed by who. Surprisingly, the ones who top the list are the husbands, not even unknown people or a stranger. We have the husbands, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, and then the stranger. I think I would love to caution women, although we cannot justify anything and say that this is the reason for killing. We cannot justify killing women. We cannot justify killing anyone. I feel it's high time for the ladies, especially in campus, because I'm in campus. Hii pesa ndogo ndogo hii, unataka kukula pesa ya mtu, and reality, you know so well that Richard sina kazi yako na kukula tu pesa, lakini at the back of my mind I know mi nataka kukula pesa tu ni kuondoke. I feel that this is an issue we are supposed to look up into, and let us explore other alternative opportunities of getting income.
Okay.
Honestly, as a lady, unakuwa na high chances sana za kupata kazi, hustle. You can decide kupaka watu makeup, kuuza manguo, other than going the other side, eating people's money, and in reality, hauna haja nazo. And also to men, I feel when somebody upsets you, killing is not the solution. Just let them go. When you kill them, you also enslave yourself.
Yeah.
So you kill them, and then in return, wewe unaenda maisha yako yote kwa jela. So now what is the benefit for that? And it's so sad that right now Kenya is focusing on things that are, non-essential, and we are pretending as if kila kitu iko normal. I saw Karen Nyamu saying that this should be made a crisis, so that resources may be, funded towards that crisis. And I feel that is true.
Okay.
We cannot continue and pretending that everything is normal, and our women are being killed, our girls are being killed. I mean,
Yeah.
ile utu ilienda wapi?
Good question.
Yeah.
For the rest of the nation. Consolata Wairimu, thank you very much. Francis Washiuri amekupigia shout out. Amesema Consolata Wairimu is a one bright lady. Asante sana for creating time for us this morning. Ojwang, wewe ni mwenyeji. Saizi 9:58. Fanya ile kitu.
Only.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. Consolata is
Thank you.
one of the ladies in this country that needs to be nurtured for a great future, so that in future we don't have nominated senators who are
Thank
actual
you.
nyamos. Haijalishi kama wanatoka Kibera
Kama
au
wanatoka-
Karen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
wow.
My submission ya kumaliza.
Yes.
What happens after tumepiga kelele all through the year about Adani?
Mm.
It is one man who stood and said, I have cancelled Adani deals.
Mm.
Who asks hizi bills kwa nini hampitishi? It is still one man. Kenyans should now stop focusing on mambo kama haya ya vita za political za Kenya. Stop attacking people or personalities. Look at the issues. Discuss those issues. Any other thing a politician does, because power is transient, once you get a new president, you can tell that president, si unajua shida zetu zimekuwa gani? Wachana na hiyo. So Kenyans should be asking themselves, who is Okia Omtata and why is he keen on 2027? Busia senator says he is keen to listen to Kenyans. This country deserves a person who is listening to Kenyans. I am urging everyone to start asking themselves, if it is not Ruto, then who?
Okay.
I hear people crying saying, hey, enyewe kwa Ruto tulichanganywa, but answer haikuwa baba.
Okay.
So that's the question we should be asking now.
Right.
Na sina shida na mtu kupigwa, ati Morara amepigwa. Waekelewe wote kwa meza wapigwe, so that by 2027 tumemaliza kupiga wote and we have one candidate to bail the cat.
Thank you very much, Ojwang Mariam.